You are crouching in tall grass, and you have stopped breathing. The year does not exist yet. There is no year. There are no words for the month or the day. There is only this. The sun is low and orange, the grass is up to your chest, and somewhere in front of you, close, something large just went quiet. Not the quiet of nothing being there. The quiet of something choosing not to be heard. Your body knows before your mind does. The hair on your arms lifts. Your heart, without asking permission, doubles its pace. Your mouth goes dry and your legs coil under you like springs. You are 2 million years from a locked door, a phone, a hospital, a weapon that fires. You have a sharpened stick and a body that weighs less than the thing hunting you. And you are, right now, prey. This is not a story about a brave hero. This is a story about a soft, slow, clawless animal that had absolutely no business surviving and somehow became the most dangerous creature the planet has ever produced. That animal is you. Not a version of you. You. The same body. The same brain. The same wiring, sitting wherever you are right now, reading this. So here is the mystery we are going to investigate. Like detectives standing over a set of footprints that should not exist, every rule of the wild says you should have died. You were smaller, slower, and weaker than the predators, and born more helpless than almost any animal alive. By every measurement that mattered on that grassland, you were a walking meal. And yet the predators are gone. The cave lion is gone. The saber-tooth is gone. The giant hunting birds are gone. And the soft, slow animal with the sharpened stick is reading this sentence on a device it invented. Something does not add up. Prey does not inherit the earth. Prey gets eaten, so either every rule of survival is wrong, or this animal was hiding a weapon that nothing on that grassland could see. Let's go find it. Let's start with the things that wanted you dead. Wipe away the cartoon of prehistory first, because it is lying to you. When most people picture an early human, they picture a confident hunter in furs, spear raised, striding across the plains like he owns them. That picture is a flattering self-portrait painted much, much later. For most of the story, you were not the one holding the spear. You were the one in the tall grass, hoping the thing in front of you had already eaten. Meet your neighbors, and understand that these were not the timid animals of a modern safari. These were the apex predators of a colder, hungrier world, and they were built on a scale that would empty a city street today. Start with the cave lion, not a lion like the ones we know. Bigger, heavier, a predator that could look a full-grown human in the eye without lifting its head, powerful enough to bring down animals many times its own weight. It hunted in the same landscapes you slept in, and to it, a lone human was not a threat. It was slow food that occasionally threw rocks. Now add the hyenas, and forget the laughing scavenger of the nature documentary. The hyenas of your world were something else, bone-crushing jaws that could shatter what a lion left behind, packs that coordinated, endurance that let them run a wounded animal into the ground over hours. They did not just clean up after death, they caused it. Then there is the saber-tooth, the animal so strange it barely looks real. 2 curved daggers growing out of its upper jaw, a body built like a coiled ambush, muscles stacked for one explosive, killing lunge. It did not chase, it waited. It let the world walk past, and then erupted out of cover with a strike designed to end a life in a single motion. In the tall grass, at dusk, it was the silence you could feel but never see. And look up, because the danger did not only come from the ground. In some of the places our ancestors lived, there were birds. Enormous ones. Hunting birds with wingspans that blacked out the sun and talons, built to punch through a skull. We have found the fossil skulls of ancient human children with puncture marks that match those talons exactly. Think about what that means. Somewhere, a giant bird looked down at a small human child, the way a hawk looks at a mouse, and dropped. This was your world. Not a petting zoo. A landscape of specialists, each one better at killing than you were at anything. They had the claws, the speed, the teeth, the armor, the ambush, the raw power. Every single one was a finished product, perfected by millions of years of evolution to do exactly one thing: turn animals like you into a meal. So here is what makes the mystery deeper, not simpler. You did not survive by being a slightly worse version of these predators. You were not a weak lion. You were not a small saber-tooth. You were a completely different kind of thing, playing a completely different game, and the predators never understood the game until it was too late. But before we find the weapon, we have to be honest about just how badly the body was losing, because on paper, this animal should not have lasted a single generation. Let's do the cruelest thing a detective can do. Let's put your body on the table and examine it like evidence. Line up a single stick figure next to the predators from the last section and take an honest inventory. Claws? None. 10 soft fingertips. Useful for holding things, useless for killing. Teeth? Flat little pebbles. Good for chewing berries, laughable as weapons. Fur or armor? Or a protective hide? Bare skin, so thin that a scratch can open it, and a cold night can kill it. Speed? Pitiful. Almost every predator on that grassland could run you down in a straight sprint. Strength? A chimpanzee is already far stronger than you, pound for pound. And then, the worst part, the young. A baby zebra stands and runs within an hour of being born. A baby human cannot hold up its own head for months, cannot walk for a year, cannot survive alone for a decade. You were born the most helpless newborn of any large animal on the planet, into the most dangerous environment imaginable. If you were designing a creature to lose, you could hardly do better than this. So how is this animal still here? This is the question a scientist named Daniel Lieberman spent his life chasing, and his answer flips the whole story upside down. Lieberman looked at the human body and refused to see a failure. He asked a different question. Not what are we bad at, but what is this strange body secretly built to do better than almost anything alive? And the answer he found is one word: distance. Watch 2 stick figures. One is a predator packed with fast-twitch muscle, an engine built for a single devastating burst. It explodes forward, a blur of speed, and for a few seconds nothing in the world could catch it. And then it overheats. Its body is covered in fur. It has to stop, mouth open, panting, because if it does not, it will cook itself from the inside. Now watch the second stick figure, the human, slow, unimpressive, no burst at all, but it does not stop. It has long, springy legs and tendons that store and return energy with every stride, a tall, upright frame that sheds heat, and a body almost bare of fur, wrapped in millions of tiny sweat glands that cool it while it moves. It cannot win the sprint. It was never trying to win the sprint. It is playing a longer game. Lieberman called it persistence hunting, and once you see it, the whole grassland changes shape. The human picks a target and simply begins to follow. Not fast, just relentlessly. The prey bolts, disappears over the horizon and rests in the shade. And then the human arrives, still moving. The prey bolts again, rests again, and again the human arrives, cooling itself with every step while its prey bakes inside its own fur. Hour after hour, in the heat of the day when every other predator is forced to lie in the shade, the soft, slow animal keeps coming, until the prey cannot rise. It has not been outfought. It has been outlasted. Read what just happened because it is the first real clue. The body was not a failure that got lucky. It was a masterpiece pointed at a target nobody else was aiming for. Every so-called weakness was a hidden specialization. No fur, so you could run in the heat that stopped the lions. Upright on 2 legs, so you could see over the grass, carry tools, and travel for free while others burned energy just to move. Weak, slow, and soft, but tuned for endurance in a way that made the entire planet walkable. But be careful here, because this is where a lazy detective closes the case too early. Endurance alone does not explain you. A single human, no matter how far it can walk, still loses to a saber-tooth in the tall grass at dusk. The body bought you a strategy, but it did not buy you safety. Persistence hunting only works if you know which animal to follow and where it will go, and you have the patience to wait, and the tools to finish it, and someone watching your back while you focus on the chase. That is a lot of ifs, and not one of them lives in the legs. They all live somewhere else, in the one organ we have not put on the table yet, because the real weapon, the thing the predators never saw coming, was never in the body at all. Go back to the tall grass, you crouching, but this time widen the picture. Because you are not alone. To your left, low in the grass, is another human. To your right, another. Behind the predator, unseen, two more have already circled. Nobody said a word out loud. And yet every single one of them knows the plan, knows their role, knows what the others will do before they do it. The predator thinks it is stalking one slow animal. It is actually standing in the middle of a single mind with 10 bodies. That is the weapon, not the stick in your hand. The invisible thread running between you and everyone hiding in the grass with you. And to understand how that thread rewrote the rules of the entire planet, we need 3 researchers. Start with the fire. A scientist named Richard Wrangham asked a question so simple it sounds silly. Why do humans cook? No other animal cooks. And Wrangham's answer is that cooking is not a luxury. It was an upgrade to the machine itself. A raw stomach has to do enormous, exhausting work to break down raw food. But fire does that work outside the body. Cooking is digestion that happens before you even take a bite. Softer food, more energy, less gut needed to process it, and all that freed up energy went to the most expensive organ you own, the brain. Picture a stick figure staring into the first controlled flames, and understand you are watching an animal quietly install a bigger engine in its own skull. One cooked meal at a time. Now the bigger brain needs something to do. Enter Robin Dunbar, who asked why humans have such enormous brains in the first place. His answer surprised everyone. It was not for making tools. It was not for hunting. It was for each other. Dunbar's social brain hypothesis says the brain ballooned to handle the crushing complexity of living in a group. Think about what your mind is actually tracking. Who is kind and who is cruel? Who owes you and who you owe? Who is allied with whom? Who is quietly angry? Who can be trusted with your back turned? Watch 100 stick figures in a group, and draw a line between every 2 who have a relationship, and the lines become a web so dense it looks solid. That web is what your giant brain was built to hold. You did not grow a big brain to outthink lions. You grew it to keep track of people. And here is the piece that ties it all together. The ability so deep you never notice you are using it. You can look at another person and imagine what is happening inside their head, and guess what they are about to do based on what they are thinking, not just what they are doing. Scientists call it theory of mind, and it is the quiet superpower under everything. It is why the humans circling the predator did not need to speak. Each one could run the others as a model inside their own head. Each one knew the plan because each one could think it from everyone else's point of view at once. Stack these 3 together and watch what the soft, slow animal becomes. Fire builds the bigger brain. The big brain is tuned for tracking people, and theory of mind lets those people fuse into something that has never existed on Earth before. A group that hunts, plans, and thinks as a single organism, passing knowledge from mind to mind without ever relearning it from scratch. This is what a thinker named Yuval Noah Harari points to as the great turning point, the moment our ancestors crossed a line no other animal has crossed. Harari's idea is that the true revolution was cognitive. It was the birth of shared imagination, because language did not just let you say danger, tree, run. Language let you talk about things that were not in front of you. The hunt tomorrow, the valley over the hill you have never seen, the rule that our group does not kill its own. Once a group of humans could all believe in the same story that existed nowhere but inside their heads. They could cooperate in numbers no pack of animals ever could. Not 10 of you against the predator. 100, 1,000. Strangers who had never met, working as one because they shared the same invisible idea. And that is what the cave lion and the saber-tooth never saw and never could. They were watching for claws and teeth and speed, the honest weapons of the grassland. They were not watching for a story. By the time the soft, slow animals had woven themselves into a single planning mind armed with fire and language and each other, the game was already over. The prey had become the most dangerous thing alive. And it won so completely that this is where the story should end in triumph. Except it does not. Because the exact traits that made you unstoppable out there did not switch off when the danger did. And that is where the story takes its darkest turn. Here is the twist that no one on that grassland could have predicted. You won, and winning broke the very tools that let you win. Every weapon we just found was forged for one specific world. A world of scarcity and danger, small groups and constant physical effort, where a predator might erupt from the grass at any moment, and the people around you were the same 50 faces your entire life. Your body and your mind were tuned, with breathtaking precision for that world. That world is gone. You deleted it. And you did it so fast that evolution never got the memo. Your body is still running software written for the tall grass, inside a world of glass and screens and endless food. Scientists call this an evolutionary mismatch, and once you see it, you will recognize it in yourself. Take the fear from the very first scene. That jolt of dread, the pounding heart, the dry mouth, the body coiling to fight or flee. On the grassland it was flawless. It fired when a predator went silent nearby, flooded you with speed and focus, and saved your life. But there are no cave lions in your bedroom at 2 in the morning. So what does that same ancient alarm fire at now? An email, a comment, a memory, a bill. The threat is imaginary, but the body cannot tell the difference. It dumps the same survival chemicals it once used to escape a saber-tooth over a message on a screen. The weapon that kept you alive is now firing at shadows. And we gave the misfire a name. We call it anxiety. Take the endurance body, the masterpiece Lieberman found, built to walk and run for enormous distances every single day in search of food. That body assumed movement was not a choice, it was life. Now put that same body in a chair. Food arrives without a single step. The engine built for a marathon idles for 16 hours a day, and the fuel it was designed to burn on the hunt has nowhere to go. The very efficiency that once saved you, a body that clings to every calorie because calories meant survival, now works against you in a world where calories are endless and effort is optional. Take the craving itself. On the grassland, sugar and fat and salt were rare. So evolution wired your brain to chase them with everything it had. A human who loved sweetness found the ripe fruit. A human who craved fat survived the lean winter. That craving was a survival instinct. Now that same instinct walks into a world engineered, deliberately, to trigger it on every shelf. You are not weak for wanting it. You are running a brilliant program in the one environment designed to exploit it. And take the deepest one, the social brain that Dunbar found. You were built to track a small group, to desperately need their acceptance. Because on the grassland to be cast out was to die. Belonging was not emotional, it was survival. That same wiring is still inside you, still screaming that being excluded is a mortal threat. But now it lives in a world of 1,000 strangers and glowing screens that show you, every hour, everyone you are not, everything you lack, every group you are not inside. The ancient hunger for belonging, the thing that once bound the hunters in the grass into one mind, now aches in a world it was never built to face. Do you see the shape of it? This is not a story of broken people. The traits are not flaws. They are triumphs. The finest survival tools evolution ever built, still doing precisely the job they were designed for. The world underneath them simply changed, and no one told your ancient wiring that the hunt was over, and the predators were gone. Your greatest strengths did not disappear when you won. They just lost their target and started aiming at you. Which leaves one question standing. If the very things that make you human are now misfiring inside a world you no longer fit, then what exactly are you supposed to do with a mind built for a world that no longer exists? The answer is the whole reason this story matters. And it is waiting in the last section. So let's step back, the way every detective does at the end, and look at the whole scene at once. Because the footprints that should not exist finally make sense. A soft, slow, clawless animal, born more helpless than almost anything alive, dropped into a world of perfected killers, should have vanished in a single generation. It did not vanish, it inherited the earth. And now we know why. Not because it was strong, because it endured when others burned out, exactly as Lieberman showed. Not because it was fierce alone, but because it fused into a single planning mind. Its brain fed by fire the way Wrangham described, tuned for each other the way Dunbar found. bound together by shared stories the way Harari mapped. The prey survived by becoming something the predators could not even perceive. Not a better animal, a different kind of thing. And that different kind of thing is not a fossil. It is you. Right now. That anxiety you carry, the alarm that fires at nothing, is not a defect. It is a 2 million-year-old guardian that once stood between your ancestors and the dark. It misfires because it was built to keep something precious alive. And that something is you. The restlessness in a body that will not sit still is the ghost of an animal built to cross continents on its own 2 feet. The ache to belong, the sting of being left out, is the echo of a bond so powerful it turned scattered, frightened individuals into the most formidable force on the planet. You are not broken. You are a masterpiece running in the wrong theater. Every part of you that feels like a weakness in this world was, in another world, the exact reason you are alive to feel it at all. But here is the turn. The same turn that makes this more than a sad story about a body out of time. Every other animal that ever lived is stuck with its wiring. It cannot see its own instincts. The saber-tooth could not choose to be something other than a saber-tooth, but you are the only animal that can catch its own instinct in the act, name it, and decide, on purpose, what to do next. You can feel the alarm fire at the email and know it for what it is, a guardian confused by a world it was never shown. And in that single moment of recognition, you get to do the one thing no creature in the tall grass ever could. You get to choose. That is the true inheritance. Not the claws you never grew, or the speed you never had. The prize your ancestors won for you, running through the killing heat while the lions lay panting in the shade, planning in silence while the predators stalked the wrong target, was a mind that can finally see itself. They handed it down through 2 million years of nights exactly like the one you started in, crouched in the grass, not breathing, hoping to live until morning. And they did live, all the way down the line to you, long enough to pass it on. So the next time your heart pounds at nothing, the next time you feel the restless ache of a body built for a world that no longer exists, the next time the hunger for belonging pulls harder than it should, do not call yourself broken. Remember the tall grass. Remember the soft, slow animal that had no business surviving and rewrote the rules of the entire planet anyway. That animal did not win by being fearless or fast or strong. It won by being exactly what you still are. You carry its fear, its hunger, its endurance, and its unbreakable need for each other right now. In the body reading this, the predators are gone, the grassland is gone, but the animal that outlasted them all is still here, still breathing, still deciding what to do next. That animal is you. It always was. The only question left is what you choose to do with a mind that, at long last, can finally see the grass it is standing in.